Hi, everybody. This is Alan Fine. I'm here with Mary Jean Tully, founder and CEO of Tully Luxury Travel. We are on Silver Moon, the second voyage. It's new, and we're coming out of Athens and going all around Greece. We're going to talk about it and the future of luxury travel on Insider Travel Report. Let's talk about how you got into the business. What about travel, and then how did you even become who you are?
Well, from the time I was a kid, I knew I wanted to travel. It was my next door neighbor was a flight attendant, and I thought she was the most beautiful creature on earth, and I thought she had the most exciting job. My parents wanted me to be an English teacher. That didn't last very long. And I just thought to myself, I just wanted to see the world, and I made it happen. I remember applying for my first job, and this was just key, and that's part of life. That's part of our job. That's part of our passion. Stick with what you believe and fight for it. So I went to apply for a job where they said minimum 2 years experience required, and they wanted you to just drop off your resume that day. And I went in, and it was Inland Travel, a real estate company starting a travel agency. And I went in and I said, look, if I just leave my resume here, nobody's going to call me. Could I please speak to the person that's doing the interview?
Good move.
And they said, no, he's not available, and he will be in a few days. And I said, what's his name? I looked in the directory, I went up to his office. He was sitting on his desk, and I remember I knocked on the thing, and I remember he looked up at me with his glasses like this. And I said, hi, I don't mean to bother you. And I said, but I just have to tell you, if I leave you my resume, you're never going to call me. This is what I want to do. I'm so passionate about what I do.
And you're a pipsqueak of how old?
Oh my God, I was like 20, 21. And I said, I'll work for free for 3 months. You need to hire me because I'm going to be so good at this. And he just looked up at me and he said, what is your last name? And he wrote it down. They called me. I wound up getting the job. They paid me within right away, right from the beginning. And I never looked back. And I still am just as excited about this industry now as I ever was.
So how do you go from that to having an agency?
Passion. I got a job with Norwegian Cruise Lines as a district sales manager out of Chicago. And, even then I plotted my way without the experience and got the job. But I got tired of trying to teach travel agents how to do it. And I thought, I'm going to do this myself. So
you were on the other side of the desk.
I was on the other side of the desk, and I applied everything that I knew that would make it work. First of all, if you're not passionate about it, get out of the industry. It's not just about the free trips. It's about the excitement. It's about the learning. It's about the cultural experience. It's about so many things. And so it was a great opportunity for me to just go and start my own on a whim.
So I think there are a lot of travel advisors that really don't have the experience of the other side of the desk, which would really benefit them. And there's no reason to go backwards. You might as well just think in terms of how do I solve the problem.
Yes, but, I know a lot of people that have college degrees that have no common sense. I didn't finish, university at all. I didn't go to travel school. I just had a passion for wanting to travel. And I became like a sponge. Travel Weekly, all the magazines. I signed up. I read them every single day. I wanted to learn. I was so excited about what I did.
But that doesn't change. And in fact, every travel advisor should be doing voracious reading, voracious watching Insider Travel Report.
Absolutely.
So how the agency is how old?
I've had the agency 34 years. See, I opened it when I was 12, okay? Just 12. But I still have the first employee I ever hired 34 years ago, and the average tenure in our office is 19 plus years. And I'm one location. And I'll tell you something right now, that one of the biggest things, the most important thing that I value in this whole industry are my employees. Second are my clients. And third are my suppliers. And I'll tell you why. Because if my employees are happy, that means my clients are happy. And if my clients are happy, my suppliers are thrilled because we're booking like crazy. So you have to constantly keep that enthusiasm. You have to instill that passion. And you can teach a skill, but you can't teach passion.
Mm-hmm. We also didn't say where you're located.
I'm in Toronto, a suburb of Toronto, actually, but my clientele is global. 75% of my clients are Americans. I'm from Chicago originally, so I'm dual citizen. But, it's not like the days when, you'd go to the local travel agencies that's down the street for you live. You go with who's going to provide you with the best service.
I think the question is going to be, if you're in Toronto, people are going to wonder, how did you get so many American clients?
Well, I am American, number one, and it's repeat and referral business. It's funny because so many people in the industry, other travel advisors think, oh, well, I must come on ships and steal business, or I must do this. No, I do a good job. In fact, I do a great job, and my staff does a great job. And when you do a great job, people are going to come to you. It's like when you go to a great restaurant. You're going to tell your friends about the restaurant, and they're going to go to the restaurant. And when you have the tenure of people that have worked for me as long as they have, they get to know their clients, and they're booking the kids and the grandkids. And, it's hands-on. I never wanted to be, for instance, on our website, we don't have prices. You know why? Because then you're just selling by price. And you have to be competitive, but you have to provide the service. And once you provide that service, people will come back.
The question that will date this whole interview is, how did you get through the pandemic?
It was tough. I mean, the pandemic is tough for everybody. Morale, people were scared. None of us knew how long it would end. And, for me, it's like, I can multitask a bunch of things, but I couldn't cross anything off my list. So I think the love for what we know that is at the end of the tunnel, because we are going to come out of this. And clearly, being here on Silversea, all of the things that I expected to be put into place, not only have been put into place, but far exceeded my expectations. And now more than ever, the thing that I can say the most, people need a travel agent now more than ever. Mm-hmm. So people who had just gone online before, like, yes, you could find a hotel property or you could find a cruise line, but it's all the ins and outs and all of the things that we've had to, and it's still changing on a daily basis. Look at France today. You need to have a double vaccine to go to a restaurant. Mm-hmm. So
you, as a travel advisor, you have to know politics, you have to know medicine, a little psychology. What else?
You have to have compassion. And the thing that was the hardest was we took the same piece of business and rebooked it 7 or 8 times for no more money. And it was our clients were scared, our employees were scared. I was scared, but yet I have to tell you something. I'm probably one of the most optimistic people I know. And in this industry, I look forward, I don't look sideways, and I definitely don't look behind me. Because if you look behind, we're never going to get to the next level. Mm-hmm. And cruise lines got such a bad rep. But the cruise lines haven't done enough to talk about themselves of how well that they've done. Because I will tell you something. I anticipated Silversea to do a good job, mm-hmm. but not what they've done. And what they have done has been unbelievable. And we need to get the word out there. Just the fact that the crew don't go home at night. There's not a hotel in the world that they do that. The hotel, they go back and they visit their family, their friends, they see everything. The control that's here. And we need, as travel agents, to get this across to our clients, to get them to overcome their fear. So
what we're saying is that this is a very specialized bubble. This is not just, the fact that the crew stays keeps it safe. Also, you wanted to talk about how it's not invasive, and yet we're in a bubble.
It's not invasive at all. I mean, we're sitting here in the library right now, no mask, but it's pretty comfortable for me to know that all the crew, they wear their masks, but double vaccinated. Everybody on here is double vaccinated. Most of the times, in so many of the restaurants and the venues on board, you can sit outside. You're off the ship during the day, even in the evening, whether you're at the panorama, you're sitting outside. It's just great, but you feel safe. Even the hand sanitizers, when you go in to have lunch, and the buffet, they get everything for you, but you hold your hand under for 20 seconds, and then after you do the full 20 seconds, the paper towel. And if you don't do it for 20 seconds, you don't get a towel.
But you understand, this machine is fully automated.
Fully.
Where you put your hands under, and it doesn't just hit you with water, but it hits you with the soap pre-mixed, then it hits you with the towel. It's amazing. It
smells wonderful, too.
Yeah. And but the other thing that I found great is they take our temperature every day.
Every morning when I get my cappuccino, they just hold the thermometer to my wrist, and it's done. And you know what? Prior to getting on the ship, I was at a hotel, I won't even mention what name. Never had my temperature taken. Never had anything. The only thing that was in the hotel is that they clear out your minibar, so you don't have that, you can't touch it, and they give you a mask on your desk.
And what hotel has a hospital right there when you need it, if you need it? But the other thing was the midway, we take another test, just to make sure.
Well, I was shocked at that. So you go upstairs. It's very civilized. I talked to the woman. She said, we do this for the crew and the passengers. This was our third day on board the ship. I sat there in all of 2 minutes, and it wasn't this really invasive swab. It was the swab on either side of the nose. And I go back to my stateroom, and within a half an hour, I got the email telling me, the test is negative. But another thing that they do. I don't know if you...
Before I say, I just want to say,
Okay.
this is just, it doesn't go to the back of the brain, this test. It was just
right in
just
the
at the
front.
just at the tip. All right, go
Yes.
ahead. And the other thing.
Another thing which completely surprised me was the fact that when you go into dinner, any of the restaurants, they'll ask you what your suite number is. And I thought, well, that's strange. And they ask everybody because had I, God forbid, tested positive,
right.
they would have known every person that I sat next to, who I sat with at dinner, and who I sat with, so they could contain
They
it.
also know if you haven't had your temperature taken in the morning. That database is that good.
Yes.
So, like, if you check out to go on an excursion, they already know, oh, excuse me, we didn't get your temperature. Can we do it now?
Yes, but I have to tell you something. I posted on my Instagram a video talking about this, right? So I had somebody write to me and go, oh, but who wants to go on vacation and have a vaccine? And I said, who wants to go on vacation and get COVID? Seriously? I feel so much safer. So it's a win-win all the way around.
So let's talk about the ship.
Fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous. The crew are so happy, and I have to tell you, when I came on for Lifeboat Trail, so I'm here with a lady that I work with. She has her own cabin, I have mine. We were in 2 different muster stations. And I'm sitting there by myself, and they're talking about it, and I look at the crew come out, and they're demonstrating. And emotion took over me. And I got very emotional to be back. And I'm looking around at this beautiful ship, so much attention to detail, the crew. I mean, when you put it in perspective, this ship, as small as it is, has 8 restaurants, 8 dining venues. I looked at the Royal Caribbean ship that was parked beside us. It's 5 times the size, and they have 20 restaurants, and we have 8. And it's absolutely fabulous. But it's just the accommodations, everything that they're doing. It's new, it's improved, it's a new ship. You don't want for anything.
What's your favorite feature?
Oh gosh, we don't have time. I have too many. I love the restaurants. I love the choices, the dining. I'm blown away by the variety.
Salt?
Salt is amazing. I did a cooking class, and I like it because it's intimate with only 10 people, and it's not just a lot of the ships have the cooking classes, which I think is great. But I love the concept how they walk you through everything, and it's just been really fabulous.
You're a big seller. You're a top seller.
Yeah, I am. We are. We do. I do very well in the cruise business. It's been my passion, and also, I used to be called the Cruise Professionals, and we changed it because it was too encompassing. It was too encompassing, where it just made us seem like just cruises. So we changed it to Tully Luxury Travel about 7 years ago. And I do a lot of Africa. I do a lot of course, pre and post. If somebody's going on a ship Rome to Istanbul, we don't just have them get on in Rome and go home after Istanbul.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes.
There's more selling to do.
Yes, there's much more selling to do. But when you've been around for so long and you have the loyalty of the clients that you do, it's wonderful. I pride myself. I've been to 126 countries. That's a lot of countries. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Because of the cruises.
So we all know, I think we know the answer to the future of luxury, but what's your take on it?
The word luxury is thrown around so much, and everybody thinks that they understand luxury, and they don't. And I will tell you something. Our tagline is luxury is defined by you, because for me, sometimes putting airplane mode on my phone, that's luxury. Watching a Netflix movie and not being bothered is luxury. But I could do 3 different trips a year, all different. One could be a cruise. One could just be a beach vacation. For some people, it's just turning off their phone and playing with their kids and building sandcastles, or being with your grandchildren. So it's really understanding that luxury is different for different people at different moments in their life. And the luxury of time. And the most important thing I could say to travel advisors out there, please listen to this. They are trusting, your clients are trusting you with their most valued asset. Second to their children, it is their time. They're trusting you with their time. You owe it to them to make sure that you know what is best for them at that time in their lives.
Well said. Thank you for being with us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
And this is Alan Fine for Insider Travel Report.